There's no substitution for putting in hard work. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be successful, but not that many people actually want to put in the sweat, the tears, and the sacrifice to get to where they want to be. You're the keeper of your own destiny. If you want to be successful, you need to put in the work and create your own opportunities.
CrossFit Games champion, Jason Khalipa, your overall leader.
This kind of stuff doesn't happen by chance. You gotta put in the work. Put in the work and feel confident going in.
How's it going? So guys, if you're standing in the back, if you're sitting in the back, I know it's kind of like college or high school, everybody wants to be towards the back. There's plenty of seats up front. If you guys would like to take them, you're more than welcome to come sit here. Up to you. Okay, no one moved. Perfect. All right. So guys, my name's Jason Khalipa. I'm really proud to be here today for a number of reasons. Tom and I have had a relationship for a long time. I'm really excited to be here with you speaking. What I'm really most excited about was what I've heard about your company so far. Before I chose to do this speaking, before I even knew anything about your business, I wanted to understand better from the executives, from the management team, what you guys were looking for out of this talk. What could I provide? And what I gathered from it was that there was a huge level of care from the executive management team for all of you. And it was really inspiring for me. I heard that they redid, different types of quotas, right? Set appropriate expectations, and are really working to put you guys in a position for success. And that made me excited to come here and talk with you today, because if I could just inspire in one way just to help you guys a little bit, plus combining that with your company, putting you in a position for success by offering these different tools and education, and then I think that's a winning combination. So as Tom was mentioning, there's several facets of my life, and what I want to talk to you guys about today is this concept of, there you go, AMRAP mentality. So for some of you guys right now, you're looking at this and you see a road bike, right? Some of you guys might ride road bikes all the time. And some of you guys might be looking at this and be like, what the heck is this guy going to talk about today? But hopefully when you leave here today, you'll look at a road bike just a little bit different, or a mountain bike just a little bit different. This is my wife and I. At the time, she was my girlfriend. She's actually in the back right now. We met when we were 14 years old. Funny story. I met her in on a math class, right? I remember meeting her. We started dating. I go home and I tell my mom, I'm like, hey, I met the woman of my dreams. I'm going to get married to her. 2 weeks later, she dumps me, okay? Turns out it didn't happen that way. 6 months to a year later, we got back together again. We've been together ever since. And that commitment's been something that's been great for me, because it's helped me not to be distracted by anything and just stay focused. So I'm with my wife at the time, or girlfriend at the time, and I graduated from college. At that same time, I opened my first business, which at the time was called CrossFit Santa Clara. And as you guys could tell, this is a very grungy looking gym. There is nothing nice about this. On my first space, I signed a 6-month lease on the hood of a truck. I had no money, nothing. I hired some gangsters from around the corner to come and graffiti in the gym to give it some color, because I couldn't afford paint. And what I learned at the time was I had a girlfriend who I just graduated college with. I had a gym I had just opened, right, which obviously I wanted to be successful in, of course. And I had just won the CrossFit Games. And at the time when I won them, it was on a dirt ranch with, several hundred competitors. Fast forward 10 years, it's on ESPN, and there's hundreds of thousands of competitors, and I've been honored to be a part of it for the last decade. So at the time, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, I just won the CrossFit Games. I just got this new business, which I need to be successful because I have no money, I'm broke. and I obviously want to maintain my relationship. So I started asking myself, how do I balance the different parts of my life? Now, obviously at the time, I didn't have 2 children, right? By the time I started asking myself, how am I going to be a good good boyfriend, right? How am I going to be a good boyfriend? How am I going to go ahead and run a successful business? And at the same time, how am I going to win the CrossFit Games next year? And this idea started coming to my head of AMRAP. So I want to introduce you to a philosophy right now, which is called an AMRAP, as many rounds or reps as possible. So if I ask you guys right now to perform a push-up, most of you guys know what a push-up is, right? I'm not going to ask you guys to do it, don't worry. By the way, after this talk today, we get an opportunity to put one of these we get an opportunity to do a workout, and there's prizes on the line, so just letting you guys know. I know salespeople like prizes. So with an AMRAP, it's as many rounds or reps as possible. And so if I asked you to do as many push-ups as you could in 1 minute, that's all you would focus on. You wouldn't answer your phone, you wouldn't be talking to your friend, you wouldn't be scrolling Facebook, you would simply be trying to get as many push-ups as you can. And this idea of AMRAPing my life started to click into my head a little bit, but it didn't quite sink in. But I just want to lay the foundation here. So the gym continued to grow. This is our second location in 2009. At this point, we had 1 or 2 employees, bigger gym, right? More people. I competed at the 2009 CrossFit Games, performed well, had some downfalls, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but I took 5th in 2009. So business is booming, fitness is going well, and boom, my wife and I get married, right? Funny story about this, the week before was the CrossFit Games. I ended up getting poison oak on my arms, and my wedding was a week later, and I had poison oak for my pictures, but it's cool because I was wearing a suit, so no one even knew, right? So again, I started asking myself, as I'm getting married, as I'm opening this gym, how am I going to balance these different things? And maybe you guys have that same thing going on in your life right now, right? Maybe right now you're sitting here like, hey, I got my kids back home, I'm trying to make a living working here, and I also like to play golf, right? Something. So I started asking myself, how do I balance all these things? And what it really came down to is identifying my focus. For the first step with the bike, okay, back to the bike, because I know I didn't really explain it well, is that if you're going to ride a bike, how many of you guys, by show of hands, I'm sure you guys know this, by show of hands, how many of you guys have ridden a bike before? Okay, pretty much everybody in the room. If you haven't, I recommend it. It's a good form of transportation. Now, so when you ride a bike, right, you need to be focused. If you're not focused, you'll tip over, okay? And you need to be present in what you're doing. I think we could all agree on that. And so what happened to me was in 2010, 2011, my wife and I had our daughter. Her name is Ava. And I'm walking down the street with my daughter and my wife. And my wife asked me, she says, hey, what do you think about that, right? How many of this happened to you guys? Tell me. She goes, what do you think about that? And I say, Ashley, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? Has this ever happened to you guys? My body was here, my brain was somewhere else. Some of you guys are probably sitting here right now. You're sitting in this seat. You're probably thinking about something completely different. That's okay. Hopefully I re-engaged you right now. Point being is I felt like a terrible husband and father. I felt terrible because while I'm going on a walk down the street in Willow Glen, California, right, what I'm thinking about is walking on my hands in the competition I was doing next month, competing for Team USA. And I realized right there and then that I needed to do a better job identifying what I was focused on during that current time and implement the AMRAP mentality. Because my body was somewhere, my mind was somewhere else, and I wasn't very productive, which led me to this.
Jason Khalipa came down looking like crap, came around the corner, collapsed. We don't know what happened, but it's not looking good.
First event, kind of bonked. I didn't really I really bonked. Finished 72nd out of 75.
I think he likes to come from behind. That must be it. He's got a history of having a tough first event.
Oh, Jason again. Jason Khalipa again dumped the wheelbarrow.
That is disheartening.
Both LaRouche and Khalipa on their final rep, and Jason Khalipa can't get it. And Albert Dominic LaRouche is going to win this heat, and that says it all.
So, still when I watch this, it makes me cringe. What happened to me was I was focusing on the wrong things. When I was walking down the street with my wife and daughter, I was focused on the wrong thing at that moment. I was focused, but I was focused on competing and not with my family. In those previous examples, I was focused on things. Not only was I not focused and present on what I was doing, but I wasn't focused on things that were in my control. So the first major takeaway I'd like to share with all of you today, right, is that whether it's in work, in family, in business, whatever, I think it's really important that you pick your focus and focus on that particular thing. I make the argument, are we more productive today or were we more productive 30 years ago before the introduction of cell phones, right? Before media hit. Now don't get me wrong, email, messaging, all that stuff, it's great. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. But the point I'm trying to make is when you're at work, you're working. When you're at home, you're at home. Now there's a lot of gray area. And so for me, what I chose to do is be present and focused on whatever I'm doing. But more importantly than that, I want to make sure I focus on things that are inside my control, not outside. Using the rope as an example. In this particular rope case, I was 30 feet high. If I was focusing on things that were outside my control, like the competitor next to me, it would very easily have caused me to fall off that rope. What I needed to do is identify things that were inside my control, such as my warm-up, such as my pace, such as my things that I could control, like the food intake, and how much work that I put in to get to this level. But second to that, and what I want to hit you with now or share with you, is that it doesn't just apply to sport, it applies to life. This is a picture of my daughter and my wife. My wife's in the back, my daughter's at home. My daughter was diagnosed with leukemia in January 2016, pretty much 2 years ago. We are extremely fortunate to say that she finishes treatment in 2 months. And is, yeah, yes. Huge deal for my family and I, huge deal. After 2.5 years of treatment, right, she's now doing well, and we're on the road to recovery. But the point I want to bring up with this picture is that at this moment in time, it hit me like a bag of bricks of understanding what was in my control versus out of my control, and that the only thing I could focus on was what was in my control. I also utilized something here called positive self-talk that I'm going to finish this whole talk with today. But if I could share with you one thing, is that whether it's me competing at a professional level on ESPN, building a business that's global, or sitting in the ICU, focusing on what was in my control always allowed me to perform better and allowed me to be more at ease. When I was sitting right here, I couldn't do anything for her. I'm not a medical professional. I can't diagnose her chemotherapy treatment, whatever. But what I could do is make sure I was providing the love, the attention, the care, making sure that if she was thirsty, I was getting her water. Those are the things that were in my control, and those are the things that I focused on, and it put my mind at ease that I was doing everything I could. And that's something that we could do here. For all of you guys got new quotas, right? And what's in your control is not necessarily what your quota is. I moved that photo because sometimes it can get a little heavy, and I want to apologize for that. But it brings a point. But you guys all got your quota. It's out of your control what your quota is. But what's in your control is going out there and accomplishing it. And the company, again, like I said, based on my phone calls and my previous interactions, it sounds like you guys are the industry leader in terms of your technology. And it sounds to me like the company's setting you up for success. So now it's in your control just going out there and doing your thing. So at this moment again, right, it brings us back to how do you balance the different things in your life? The workload, the fitness, right? Maintaining your fitness for life. And then also, obviously, making sure you have time for your family. Which brings me to part 2. So part 1 was identifying your focus. Part 2 is work hard. And I think there's been maybe in different generations, there's been this idea of like hacking your way to success, right? You know, go in, work somewhere, especially in the Silicon Valley. You guys know how it goes. People go places for a year or two, they try and get stock option, boom, and they try and get out. And this idea of just kind of, work for a short period of time, get rich. What I've found through my experiences, and maybe this is what you guys have found, is that you need to work hard and work hard for a long period of time. And when I reference work hard, I'm going to use this as an example. This is a picture of me doing a sled pull in the 2014 CrossFit Games. And at this point, the reason why I share this picture with you is because the night before we had a meeting there, and I had a reflection, I had a thought. I said, I want to come into this stadium by myself and know that I would win, because as soon as I pulled the sled halfway, if no one else was in the stadium, I knew I would win that event. Very rarely in the sport of CrossFit do you ever know you're gonna win an event before you win an event. So in this case, it was something I was dreaming about all night. The next day, I put that dream into action. I was halfway down, I walked into the stadium, there wasn't a soul in there, competitor-wise. I got halfway, I enjoyed it, and I finished. The reason why this was powerful to me is because that night, I had earned the confidence. It wasn't perceived. So I wanted to share this mindset with you guys for hard work. If I came up here right now, I could have perceived confidence or earned confidence. Let me tell you the difference. Perceived would be me not preparing. I didn't come up here earlier and do this. I didn't prepare this 10,000 times. I just came up here and tried to wing it. I wouldn't be I could tell myself, be in the back slapping myself, but when I came up here, you guys would know I wasn't prepared. And I wouldn't be able to deliver the same type of product. But if I could come up here and I earned the confidence from years of developing this presentation per se, or earned the confidence to go in there and know that I was gonna pull that sled better than anybody else because I had worked hours in the gym, right? Then it's powerful. So for all of you guys out there, one of the recommendations I'd have when it comes to hard work is understanding that, you could tell yourself all you want that you're gonna be the best salesperson out there, but if you actually back it up with hard work and putting in the hours, I assure you that good things will occur because now you have the earned confidence versus perceived. Everybody kind of get where I'm going with that? Big difference, right? Through that earned confidence, through that hard work, through that dedication, I was able to get back on the podium, right? Which was a great day for me. It's 2015, 14 CrossFit Games, had both my kids there, which was awesome. But that was only through dedication and hard work, waking up in the morning every day and having a mission, an internal why on why I want to do what I want to do. So for you guys, if you're gonna work hard, if you're gonna be passionate about your job or your family or whatever you're doing, you just gotta know why you're doing it. For a lot of you guys, you probably work to make money. But if I could shine some light on that, how many of you guys work to make money? Just raise your hand. I'll raise my hand. Yeah, absolutely. Now, 4 years ago, if you had asked me, hey, do you work to make money? I would have said, yep. And why? I want to buy a nice watch. I want to live in a nice house. I want to drive a nice car, right? But now it's something deeper to me. The reason why every day I get inspired to work hard and to grow our business is because when Ava got sick, it allowed me, because I incorporated the AMRAP mentality for all these years, it allowed me to solely focus on her. So when you guys leave here today in regards to hard work, one of the things I'd leave you with is be inspired by money, that's fine, but not necessarily for the nice things in life like cars, houses, that's okay. But a deeper why for me is that God forbid anything ever happened to you in your life, you have the financial means to have a hedge against that, and you've put in these years of work that now your employer will let you kind of shift focus for a while before you get back in. It's nice to have that hedge, and it's a nice deep why when you're putting in the hours. The third thing I want to introduce you to that helped me to be balanced and successful is this idea of switching gears. So we're focused on something, we work hard at it, right? This is me pedaling a bike, you can't tell, right? And now the idea is we switch gears. Throughout the duration of the day, I switch gears deliberately, just like you do on a bike. Anybody ever switch gears on a bike before? Anybody have a stick shift car and you switch gears? Yeah. So think about it like this. Throughout the duration of the day, I switch gears throughout my day. Earlier today, I was at my house in San Jose. Jumped on a plane, I worked, right? Came down here, had lunch with my wife, I was present and focused with her. Then I went and worked out. I was present and focused in that time working out, and now I'm here with you and I'm present and focused here. So throughout the duration of the day, I switch between gears, and this is something I think all of us can do in here, regardless of whether you're into fitness or not. That's fine. I recommend it, of course, but you don't have to do anything. I wake up early, I get into the gym. It's a way to rev up my body, get my mind right, get moving. Maybe for you, it's a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood. Maybe for you, it's meditation. It's something to get your body charged and ready to go for the day. But then you make a deliberate shift from what you're doing to work. This is one of our locations in San Jose, California, right? And so when I shift from fitness to work, it's a deliberate shift. So I'm not gonna be doing squats, right? Answering the phone, right? I'm gonna either be working out or at work. And then I'll have a third shift, which is family, right? So I'll go, for me, it's working out, work, family. And when I'm with family, I attempt to only be present and focused there. When I'm at the dinner table, I'm not trying to have my phone. When I'm out and about, how many of you guys, I swear this is an epidemic, how many of you guys see more people at a restaurant on their phone than talking to each other? Yeah, right? Okay? Look, whatever happened to old school, hey man, how you doing? Nice to meet you. You know, like talking. And so guys, when you're present and focused, I assure you more will get done, right? So the last phase I want to introduce you to, and this is potentially the most important phase yet. And I'm going to keep this talk relatively short because I want to make sure you guys finish this with some takeaways. You're focused riding a bike. You're working hard and you're pedaling. You're shifting gears throughout your day between selling your product to being with your family, but whatever you're doing it well, right? Then, every now and then, you need to reevaluate. And these reevaluation phases only come every now and then. And it's an opportunity for you to edit and amplify what you're currently doing. All I did was I switched the bike from a road bike to a mountain bike. It's still a bike, right? But it's an opportunity for you to edit the path you're on, right? And then move forward. Let me give you an example. These are some of our locations that we have for our business. Our business, NC Fit, grew into a global business with 20 locations. As the business grew, I had to reevaluate, do I have enough time for everything that's going on? I also had a son. So what happened is the business was growing, my family was growing, and the time I had for fitness was dropping. That ever happened to you guys before, right? And so sometimes you need to prioritize these circles and these focuses you have. So for me, I chose to reevaluate, have a specific time in my life where I sat down and I said, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I can't be fully focused on this, this, and this, because I'm being a poor husband and I'm being a poor father. So I chose to go team. This was in 2015. We performed well. This was us winning the NorCal championships right here. And one of the reasons why I chose to go team was to take some of the stress off me and have more fun. But something I want to share with all of you guys. Are you guys on sales teams? Yeah. Okay. So when I was competing as an individual, I competed 7 times as an individual. When I stood on the podium, the only person that knew the hard work, the sweat, the tears, and everything was me that was there. I was happy, my family was happy, but they didn't know what I had been through. And so I felt like kind of was like alone in this. All of a sudden, when I celebrated it with a team, everybody felt that like-minded sense of accomplishment. And that made me feel great because now everybody knew what it took to get to where you want to be. But also what the team did for me, and this is something for you guys to reflect on, is allowed me to utilize my strengths. So with CrossFit, you got to be good at a lot of things. I'm relatively strong, but I might not be as good at other stuff. When I was competing as an individual, I would spend so much time on my weaknesses that I didn't really get to improve my strengths. When I got on a team, I no longer had to work on my weaknesses. I just took my strengths and made them even better because I had the team to back me up on everything else. So with you guys in your sales team, hopefully that's a good analogy for you, is to take what you're good at, elevate you, take what other people are good at and elevate them, but then this way everybody kind of picks and chooses where they're good at and where they thrive, and they help the team as a whole. So I chose to go team. Another time where I had to reevaluate, right, was when my daughter got sick. When Ava got sick, it was a very easy decision for me. It was the easiest decision I've ever made in my entire life. I remember when we got the news, it was right before the competition season started for CrossFit. And I was just like, it's a no-brainer. Why? Because I had to be present and focused on one thing and one thing only, which was getting her better. Thankfully, that's happened, right? Point being is, by you guys incorporating this AMRAP mentality, for years, right? I started working in the fitness industry when I was 14 years old at the front desk, right? And I've been doing it ever since. So if you continue to segment your day, work hard at whatever you're doing, eventually get to a point where you can kind of tone back a certain area and switch your focus. It's a cute picture of her. To wrap this up, I want to finish up with one very simple thing. And it's the idea of positive self-talk. My wife and I have been up against the rafters a few times with our daughter being sick. And I assure you that whether it's in life, in the fitness, in competition, in business, right? Positive self-talk goes a long way. I just want to share this with you today. And afterwards, we're going to do a workout. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. For anybody who does the workout with us today, very inclusive, very fun, and puts into action this AMRAP mentality we're talking about, if you come back there, I have 5 $100 gift cards to Reebok. We'll randomly select some winners, and you can have a chance to win a $100 gift card to Reebok if you do a few squats with us in the back. No pressure, just saying. Now for positive self-talk, one way to really develop this is I started seeing a sports psychologist when I was competing at the highest level. And he really encouraged me that as soon as I thought something negative, to pound it out with something positive. I'm gonna use a fitness example, and I'll share with you how it relates to your business. You're running. You guys all run before? Yeah? You're running. My legs hurt. I can't breathe. Anybody ever tell you, like, you ever feel this way before? That does nothing for your performance. When you negatively impose these thoughts on yourself, it's not gonna help you where you wanna get to, right? And so for me, if I'm running, here's what I'm thinking about. All right, mid-foot strike, nice breathing rhythm, make it sound like music, whatever. I'm coaching myself through it. And through fitness, I learned how to positively impact my life. As soon as I thought negative, I reverted into a positive. It took me a long time, but I instantly saw the value of doing it through fitness in real world. I'm in a work environment, let's just say we're here. Something goes wrong. Boom, you gotta immediately revert it to a positive thought, or at least find some positive out of it. Otherwise, it's a slippery slope. And the way that my wife and I like to view the world, especially out of all the things we've seen now, is that we wake up every day, and I think all of us have a decision to make today for tomorrow, is do you guys wanna wake up and wear a pair of sunglasses, or do you wanna wake up and wear a pair of regular glasses? Do you wanna view everything that occurs to you as a negative, or do you wanna view it in some way, shape, or form as a positive? And I'm convinced that regardless of what happens throughout your day, there's a way you could shape it into something better. But if you start the day with a negative attitude, of course you're not gonna be able to perform at your expectations. And that goes into selling, that goes into being a good husband, father, whatever you guys are into. So I encourage you, start with fitness, find a walk around your neighborhood, use positive self-talk, right? Identify what you wanna focus on. What is it that's really important to you, and why is it important to you? Work hard at that specific thing, like you're doing right now. I mean, a lot of you guys are paying attention. It feels great that you guys are present and focused with me right now. Work hard at it. And then throughout your day, just switch gears. You don't have to actually do this, but you could you could switch gears between different things throughout your day. And what you'll see is if you continue to do this, I assure you in 3 to 6 months, shoot me an email, tell your team. I assure you, if you segment your day and you really tell yourself to be present and focused on your sales or on whatever you're doing, you will accomplish more throughout the duration of the day than you could possibly think of. I've seen it happen to myself and many others we work with, and I'm really excited for it to work for you. Guys, I want to finish this out the way I finish up most of my classes. This is just the finish slide. What I want to do right now, guys, is the way I like to finish my classes when I'm coaching at the gym or whatever it may be, is when I say 1, 2, 3, I just want you to give me a simple double clap, right? Just a simple double clap. So when I say 3, we're gonna clap twice as hard as you can. Then for those of you who wanna participate in an inclusive workout, guys, it's gonna be super basic, super easy. You can wear what I'm wearing, right? Don't worry about it. Wear whatever you want. I mean, not whatever you want, but you know what I mean. Come back there, work out, get your body revved up, get your body moving, and then get ready for your event tonight, which I'm really excited you guys are having. Does that sound good? So we're gonna finish this out with a quick double clap on 3. I wanna thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you. I hope you guys took away one thing from this conversation, and if you didn't, let me know before you leave, and I'll at least shake your hand and thank you for sitting and listening. So quick double clap on 3. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice job, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the back for a workout.